Hello and welcome to another exciting year at SCSU TV. I'm Jamelia Young.
And I'm Paige Charzia. Today we will cover several events including the sexual harassment rally, the Welcome Back dance, and the North Cafe open mic night. Also, stay tuned to hear about the multicultural reception and the first tailgate and football game of the year.
Wendy Weiler, a graduate of SCSU, came back to the university to raise awareness about sexual harassment. Here is SCSU TV's Julie Mar-Ortiz with her story.
Hi, I'm Julie Mar-Ortiz from SCSU TV. What you're about to see is the story of Wendy Weiler, a graduate of Southern Connecticut State University, who says that the university betrayed her trust when she came into contact with sexual harassment.
My name is Wendy Weiler, and I'm here because I want to hold Professor Shevin responsible for sexually harassing me and other students who are to this day still traumatized from what happened. And I want to hold the university accountable because I trusted them and expected them to be there for their students.
Wendy said that she was sexually harassed by music professor David Shevin in March of 2011.
And he said, oh, because I have to pick something up that I left behind from a concert we had the week before. And so he went up there, and instead of going into the auditorium, he unlocked the storage room, and he went into it, and he kept asking me to come in. And I said, Dr. Shevin, you can speak to me out here. Why do you want me to go in there? I'm not going in there. I'm not going in there. And he kept insisting, and he said, Wendy, how long have we known each other? You can trust me. You can trust me. And he just persisted on having me go in there with him. And I remember clearly a student walked by, and I just felt more under pressure, and she looked at me, and I trusted him, and so I followed him into the closet. And the minute he closed the door, I realized something wasn't right, and I regretted it, and I kind of panicked. I didn't want him to realize how scared I was because I didn't know what he would do. And I started thinking about whether or not if I screamed or something, if something happened, if someone could hear me. And I started backing up further into the closet, and there were no windows. And I remember just everything about him changed in that moment. Everything that I knew about him he was completely different.
According to Wendy, inside that closet in Engelman Hall, Professor Shevin said that he had been gaining feelings for Wendy, and if something were going to happen between them, it was going to happen at that moment.
And I didn't know at that moment if he was going to come towards me or if anything would happen. And I kept saying, no, no, no. And I kept backing up further into the closet. And he kept saying, are you sure? Are you sure? And I was frozen and terrified. And eventually he just said, okay, I'm going to open the door and we're going to go back out into reality.
After the incident, Wendy attended Shevin's class, but felt so uncomfortable that she had to walk out. After he continuously emailed her, Wendy wondered if she should report him or if she should just drop her class.
So I decided over spring break to report it. And I did, and the first phone call they told me over and over again, Wendy, are you sure you want to do this? This is a long process. And they kept asking me as if I had brought this upon myself,
When Wendy finally did report Professor Shevin, she was told she had to wait up to a week for an investigator. But 1 week quickly turned into 3, and within that 3-week period, Wendy uncovered something shocking about Shevin.
I was in New Haven, and I ran into a student that was in a class, a girl, and I told her what happened, and she started crying, and she started tearing up and said, Wendy, the same thing happened to me and this other girl that was in the class, and they weren't in the class anymore. And she said that the minute you signed up for the course, the minute you started coming to class, we knew that you'd be next.
Eventually, Wendy met with the Women's Center, and she thought she was finally going to be heard. However, that was not the case.
After a while, after I kept saying, I need to talk to somebody, I was terrified. Paula Rice and Kathy Christie actually sat down with me. I skipped a class to go to this. They told me to write everything down that happened. And I explained everything. It was a 2-hour thing. Told them everything from the beginning. They took notes. And then at the end of it, they handed the notes back to me. And they said, okay, we just wanted to make you feel heard and make you feel like, there's somebody here listening to you. But we really can't do anything because this is not our job. I think a lot of people were scared to get involved. And I think everybody thought that I was just going to go away. That was the thing, that they just wanted me to go away.
Wendy felt afraid, alone, and without support. Fearing that she would have another encounter with Professor Shevin, Wendy went to the head of the music department at SCSU to ask for consequences for Professor Shevin. Wendy wanted him fired, however, that was not the case.
When I was concerned about him returning in the fall, he said, "Wendy, welcome to the world of academia." That was his response to all of this.
Now, Wendy did end up filing a lawsuit against Chevin and the university, but she didn't stop there. On September 10th, 2013, Wendy, along with other students from SCSU, held a rally on campus to raise awareness about sexual harassment on campus and ultimately to change the policies that the university has for sexual harassment.
So, number one, we demand that David Chevin be entirely removed from Southern Connecticut State University and no longer associated with the university in any respect. Number two, we demand that Southern Connecticut State University issue a public apology on behalf of its failure to take appropriate action against David Chevin and all Title IX violations.
Wendy has come into contact with other women who have been sexually harassed on campus. Unfortunately, most of these women are too afraid to come forward. Wendy encourages anyone who has been a victim of sexual harassment to come forward, either to tell their story or to receive support.
If you would like to come forward privately, we have a private email that you can reach us at and get support from. It's scsuspeaks@gmail.com. And I really encourage that more victims come out about this, because I know I'm not alone. I know there's other people. I know names of people who are at the campus who this has happened to. And I don't want them to blame themselves, even if the university or anyone has made them feel like it's their fault.
There are several new construction projects on campus this semester. The parking garage on Wintergreen Ave is complete and ready to use. It has 1,200 parking spots, 60 security cameras, and several charging stations for electrical cars. The outdoor campus basketball court was also completed earlier this semester. The official ribbon-cutting ceremony for the court was held on Saturday, September 28th. The construction on Bewley Library is back on track. The estimated completion date for Bewley is spring 2015. And finally, construction on the new science building has begun as well.
On September 7th, Southern had its first home football game in Tailgate. The Residents Life Association hosted the tailgate, where students enjoyed burgers, hot dogs, free t-shirts, and a bounce house and yard games. At the football game, junior John Moscatel had a total of 152 all-purpose yards and 2 touchdowns. But the Owls lost the game 30-20. The men's soccer team also played later on that day and lost 1-0.
On September 5th, the Multicultural Center held a reception to welcome international and multicultural students and faculty to the new school year. It was held in the lobby of the Lyman Center and was run by Diane Brown Albert, the coordinator of multicultural student activities. Faculty and staff, including President Mary Papazian, were introduced to the students. Entertainment for the reception included icebreakers, raffles, and a dance by a new and upcoming dance group, Aziza. A variety of refreshment and foods from different cultures and countries were served to attendees.
I like how there's food from different cultures. So it's like, food is awesome. Everywhere. It's integrating not just into America, but into other cultures around the world. So that it's not like, for international students, we're not just introduced to Americans, but other nations around the world, like Germany, Holland, other countries. So I thought when we came over that it was just going to be America, but get to meet people from all around the world, which is really cool. And everyone is really friendly as well, so it's a really great place.
On August 28th, ProCon held a welcome back dance in the ballroom in an effort to welcome both new and returning students back to campus. This year's theme was Instagram. A photo printing booth was available. Students had their photos printed and posted on Instagram during the dance. In addition to the photo booth, attendees were given glow sticks and accessories, cupcakes, and a variety of other sweet treats. We caught up with a senior programmer from ProCon to get their thoughts on the dance and its success.
We actually have a lot of novelties. We have like a glow-in-the-dark stick that changes colors, and we have candies and a bunch of other goodies like cupcakes and cookies that you can enjoy.
The annual Ronald Heron Day of Service was held on Saturday, September 21st. For the event, many students from campus clubs, inquiry classes, and residence halls created teams and signed up to help clean up various places in the New Haven area. Students got their hands dirty by cleaning local parks, streets, community gardens, and more. We interviewed Stacy Spell, a retired homicide detective with the New Haven Police Department, and he gave us his thoughts on how the good deeds of the university and students affects the community.
This is all people power. And what it did more so was that it brought people in from the community that might normally not speak to one another. So it created a space for people to converge upon. It created a dialogue. It created ownership.
Thank you for joining us for this week's show.
And remember, you can stay connected to campus news and events by following us on Twitter, Instagram, and by liking us on Facebook.